All right, I'm gonna go over some simple ramp tricks. Once you get the drop in and everything, most times the first trick you will learn will be a rock to fakie or a rock and roll. So I'm gonna show you how to rock to fakie first, and then we're just gonna expand off of the rock into other tricks that are pretty much the same, as long as you can do rock and roll and rock to fakie. Now this is a 3-foot mini ramp. It's about the size you could learn stuff on pretty easy. Now first you want to come up with a rock. You can come up, just tap, and tap back down to get the feeling of coming back in fakie. In a rock and roll, you'll do the same thing, you just pivot out. And once that's feeling good, you just take it a little bit higher and just get your front truck just over the rail. After that, you just slowly go higher and higher until you're actually up on top of the deck. Alright, and after you get those down, the next one I think would be pretty easy. Be coming up fakie, pivot in, rock, and you can either come back in fakie or pivot right back out. Okay, the next one we're going to go over is the switch rock. This one should be a bit easier coming back in because you're just coming back in regular. You just roll up to the ramp fakie. And after you get that, next one will be fakie pop rock. You don't have to pop the tail or anything, you just let your wheels bounce off the coping. If the fakie one's feeling weird, you can do it nollie too. Just have your foot over the bolts and push the board forward through you. With all these, you can just, instead of just coming out to fakie, you can go ahead and pivot out and get the rock to fakie. So that's another trick. Now if you can get all those down, I think the next one would be a front side rock and roll. It's a little hard turning back in blind like that. You want to keep your feet kind of farther over because you have a tendency of slipping back. This is another one what I learned was just tapping it underneath, pivot it back before you commit. that down, you can combine that fakie pivot rock and pivot back out that same way you came in. Alright, this one's a front disaster. Even though it's got that other name, you're still basically doing a board stall. You're just coming up all in front side and pivoting in. You can just spin around real quick and get into it. I feel like the front side one's easier, but I'm kind of garbage at backside, so go with the backside one next. I come up, you just come up, kick turn. Just like a normal kick turn, you're gonna go over and slam it in. And then when you get other tricks like 50-50 or 5-0, feeble. Good way to get feeble fakie is to do get into a feeble and then flip it back to the board stall, come back in, back to fakie style. So you can use all these rocks, build off of each one just to get better and more comfortable on the ramp. Then you can start throwing in other tricks. Like fakie Smith is pretty easy to get into, and I like to fakie Smith, pop it to rock, come back in fakie. I'm just going to do some lines of just rock variations to show you what all you can get down from just this one technique. There's a lot more combos you can do with just the rocks, so work on the ones I showed you and just add more stuff that you feel comfortable with doing. Now I'm gonna go and take a break. See y'all next time.